Hi-ho! Are you ready to make a gooseberry pie? Now you might be asking yourself, what is a gooseberry pie? Well, it's a pie made of gooseberries, of course. But what is a gooseberry? That's a great question. A gooseberry is... Hey Google, what's a gooseberry? Well, that taught me nothing. So, a gooseberry is just like a fruit. It's kind of tart, it's kind of sweet. It's kind of like a cherry mixed with a tomato. Anyways, we're making gooseberry pie because it is Snow White's signature dish. And of course, we're serving Snow White, so we have to serve gooseberry pie. So, if you're gonna make a gooseberry pie, you're gonna need gooseberries, of course. If you can't find gooseberries, thankfully we live in a world where you can buy anything online, and I do mean anything. So I'm gonna use all 3 cans because I bought them, and I truly don't know what else I'd do with them. So, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna strain all 3 of these cans. I'm gonna keep 1 can separate, and the other 2 I'm gonna throw in a saucepan. So I'm gonna put my gooseberries on the stovetop at about medium heat. I'm also gonna toss in about 1 cup of sugar. These are pretty tart. I'm just gonna stir to coat. So as you can see, stirring and all of that is gonna make those gooseberries kind of pop and fall apart. So that's why I want to conserve 1 of these cans. I'm gonna strain it right at the end and toss them in. That way we have some full gooseberries to kind of fill the pie up, so it's not just all slop, because we don't want a sloppy pie. So we want to bring this gooseberry and sugar mixture to a rolling boil. So we want to let our gooseberries bubble on the stove just a little while until it starts to thicken ever so slightly, maybe about 5 minutes or so. So while our gooseberries bubble away, we're gonna make a slurry, which is a mixture of cornstarch and water that'll help thicken it up later. So I have about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch here, and I'm mixing in roughly about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of water. Like I said, this is called a slurry, which has me thinking, what's your favorite slur? Mine is fat. All right, so now our gooseberries are nice and bubbly and hot. They've been bubbling away for about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to reduce the heat, and I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of nutmeg. Stir that in. So now, stirring constantly, I'm going to stir in that cornstarch slurry we made. And nearly immediately, you should start to see this kind of thicken up a bit. While it's still a little soupy, I'm gonna toss in 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. And we're gonna stir that around until it melts. Once that butter is nice and melted, I'm going to very gently fold in the extra can of gooseberries. We wanna fold these in gently so they maintain their shape and don't just pop like the rest of gooseberries. Now I'm gonna remove this from the heat, let it cool a bit while we work on the crust. So we're gonna wanna preheat our oven at 425. And while our oven preheats, we'll work on our crust. So every good pie begins with a homemade crust. It's officially time to put our gooseberry pie mixture into our pie crust. You wanna scrape all that gooseberry goodness up in there. Next, we're gonna wanna take our little egg wash and a pastry brush and just gently brush the edge of the pie crust. That way, when we put our top crust on it, it has something to stick to. You always wanna lubricate your bottom crust before you introduce your top. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the crust, we're going to kind of pinch them together and fold them under themselves. Now in the movie, Snow White cuts her crust off, but that seems like a waste of crust to me. Also, her little bird friends crimp the edges, but I think that looks tacky, and we're going for a signature beautiful pie. So instead, I'm going to crimp the edges with my fingers. So to do that, I'm gonna put one finger, and I'm gonna push up from the bottom, and using my two fingers, I'm gonna kind of pinch. Just like this. So with a little bit of excess pie crust, I'm just going to roll a little bit out. Now Snow White spells out grumpy, but I am not making this pie for Grumpy, I'm making it for myself. She does hers all in one. That's gonna be very difficult to do, especially with pie crust. So I'm just gonna fake it till I make it. There you go. Stelia. So now that I have my name all spelled out, with that same egg wash from earlier, I'm just gonna brush the whole pie. This egg wash is gonna give our pie a nice, beautiful golden brown color. So we are nearly done with our pie and ready to put it in the oven. But first we have to cut little vents into the pie crust. That way, as our gooseberry mixture starts to bubble up and steam inside, it doesn't explode and ruin all of our hard work. Another secret tip to make your pie crust nice and crunchy and sweet and golden brown is to take some crunchy turbinado sugar and just sprinkle it on top. And if you're not making a mess, you're not cooking. Now our pie is almost ready to go into the oven, but first thing we're gonna wanna do is wrap the edges in tin foil. That way they don't brown before the rest of the crust is cooked. So what I've done off camera before I started is I took some tin foil and I wrapped it around my pie pan and kind of made the preliminary shape. That way it goes on easy peasy. We can kind of cover those edges. Now our pie is ready to go into a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes. And after that, we'll take the tin foil off and we'll cook until it's nice and golden brown. So it's been about 30 minutes. We're gonna remove our pie from the oven and get rid of that foil. All right, so our pie is out of the oven, and I went ahead and reduced the heat in the oven to about 350 for the remainder of the cooking process. As you can see, we've already got a nice, beautiful color. But we're not quite done cooking yet. With the foil off, the oven reduced to 350, we're gonna put her back in the oven for maybe about 5 to 15 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You want it nice and uniformly golden brown. You wanna make sure that that bottom crust is nice and cooked through as well, because again, we love soggy bottoms, but not soggy bottom crusts. All right. She's got a nice golden brown color. So my pie has cooled enough. It should probably cool more, but I'm impatient. So we're gonna cut into it and give it a try. All right, let's see what we're working with. Ooh, that crust is nice and golden brown and crunchy. Now again, I probably should have waited for like another hour to cut into it. So it might be a little soupy. We're gonna eat it anyways because I'm ready to get out of drag. Here goes nothing. Oh yeah, she's soupy. All right, so here's my slice. Here goes nothing. A little bit of crust, a little bit of filling. The crust is excellent. Love that homemade pie crust recipe I used. Gotta try that one. The filling is okay. I could use a little more sugar. Just gooseberries are such a weird flavor. But I'm not mad at it. Still tart, still sweet. There's just that weird like savory edge that I wish I could like cut off. But other than that, I mean, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Could be worse. And this has been how to make a gooseberry pie with your host, Stelia Mann, in Snow White drag. You gotta make this, try it, and if you don't like it, give it to me and I'll eat it, because I'll eat anything. Anyways, so I'm gonna eat all of this. I'm gonna get out of drag, and I'm gonna have 7 men come over, and they're gonna I'm gonna go eat my pie now. Bye!